Hey guys, so this is just a heads up. So while we were in the middle of the podcast recording on Twitch, for some reason, Streamlabs was not working, so we unfortunately had to record the rest of the podcast off stream. However, when we did do that, an issue occurred in which a lot, and I mean like 3 hours of the podcast was lost. So what you have right now is effectively the original podcast up until we had to stop, and then you have effectively the last bit of everything. So I apologize for that. This is the whole podcast is cursed, but I didn't want to just leave an episode around like how I didn't update the last one. So that is what's happening. So if you enjoy the rest of the show, please enjoy it. Peace.
Baba booey, baba booey, baba booey.
I don't know how you do it. It actually
Naturally is breathing.
literally I saw the time hit 0 0 0 0 0 2 and then you spoke and I'm like, oh god. Like, oh my goodness, this is great. Hello everybody, welcome to episode 7 of the Out of Pocket TCG podcast. I'm your host Zechs. With me today,
The other host.
yeah, we've got him. And then joining us today for a very special episode is our guest, Z. I don't know exactly which variation of the name to say is because I know your Twitch is ZRGaming, and then your channel is ZRG. So
I think the ZRVG was because ZRG was taken by someone else. I have yet to hunt them down. We'll figure out. I might finally get to that after this, but no, it's ZRG. It's meant to be across everything, at least.
okay, so yeah, we got our guest ZRG, and he's here to kind of talk about content creation, and Vanguard primarily.
Yeah, I might have opinions about Vanguard.
Yes, so uh, you know, I'll usually at the beginning of every show we have our previously on break segment. But my previously on break is simple. I went to a Barnes and Noble, bought the first and last volume of Darling in the Franxx, and a couple books that I was really hoping for. Then proceeded to get sick the day after, and was basically out for most of the week, barely able to even press a button on my PS5.
Mm.
I will probably talk about it. I will probably give like a little thing about the whole Darling in the Franxx thing. So, for one thing, this is supposed to be the original Darling in the Franxx recording, but two things happened. One, and this is independent of me getting sick, by the way. One, the rest of the volumes hadn't come in yet, so I couldn't actually read all of them because I like reading like in paper, so it's hard for me not to just kind of like wait. So I waited, and two, I knew Zeta would not have watched a single episode by the time we got to this episode. Even though I said it a month ago.
I'm not watching Franks. I'm not rewatching this damn show.
Like, you can at least read the manga with me.
I will watch one AMV. That's the most you're getting out of me.
Is it that bad? Am I missing something?
It will be set to bring me to life. I'm sure there is already one.
Well, I'll kind of put it like this. You know that whole meme of everybody like talking about the whole "it insists upon itself." That is after reading like the first volume of the manga. Yeah, no, I kind of see why the anime would probably be accurate for that statement.
Yeah,
because from what I remember, man, they thought they were cooking with some of those editing choices. So, you've never seen Franxx before, have you?
I have not.
Good.
Bless your soul.
Like, people like, for people who don't know, people were thinking of that as like the second coming of Evangelion. It was gonna be like, oh, people like Mecha now because we got a pink haired waifu who pilots a giant robot. We did it, y'all. Mecha's back, even though Mecha wasn't really gone. It just had been like
what the fuck do you mean gone?
Yeah, it's like
Right?
like it's just been a while since a mainline Gundam show came out. Okay, or like
Mecha is dying every other week. All right.
it's true. Even when Mecha's not dying, we got an issue.
I'm just saying, Raven saved the Mecha anime.
Okay. Get up.
It's all Bravern.
Okay, we had a disconnection, but thankfully I do have the main recording still going up, so we're good. Hopefully.
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 Knock on all the wood that we actually get this episode done. Because that's one of the issues that came with the extra episode we did about the game remember the Game Awards episode that is still not officially on the channel? The reason is because to actually render it is 12 gigabytes to fully cut that back together.
Wait, I'm a 4 terabyte SSD like I do?
No, brother, no. My computer's still stuck in 2019. Actually, not 2019, 2018 probably.
Oh,
Shoot,
God,
I remember when my computer came out. Oh my god. Yeah, I've been needing to upgrade for ages, but I've never been able to. I was like, fine, I don't really need it. Now I need it.
Dude, I'm selling like a 2022-ish, 2023-ish like PC at my job for like $650. Runs everything.
I mean, that'd be cool, but I don't know. But anyway, so back to kind of clearing up that Frank. So everyone's talking about, it's gonna be the second coming of Mecha, the new second Evangelion, and then really it was just a bunch of people horny about the Dino Girl and the other girls. And then episode 15 happened. Also, because it's the first time Trigger and A1 have actually worked together on a project.
Everyone's pointing fingers at each other.
So,
oh goody.
So basically, I thought the best way to exemplify Darling in the Franxx. Episode 1 through 15 are a good setup, or a fine setup, quote unquote. And then episode 15 happens, and it's the equivalent of having post-nut clarity. Because after that, people want to talk about how, like, a certain, like, backstory in, like, episode 19 kind of, like, derailed the show. Like, I'll go one further. From my memory, like, quite literally, episode 16 onwards was just actually garbage.
Yeah.
And it's so funny.
A perfect performance, and then right towards the end of it, you do a split and you break your legs. Like, there goes your entire gold medal.
And the silver, and the bronze.
Right.
Like, you just...
Oh, you're not even writing about it in the paper anymore.
And they're like, who are you? I don't know. Yeah, it was that disastrous.
I feel like I'm morally obligated to subject myself to this at some point.
No.
So, I'll put it like this. The only reason I would say not to read the manga, because the manga was released at the same time as Franxx, but went until 2020, is because the manga is the horniest thing I have read in a hot minute that wasn't actually, like, something degenerate, you know? Like, something that's like...
What do you expect from a fan service manga kid doing this? Like, I don't know what you were expecting.
I mean, I knew about it because I knew there was like a pic. Like I remember seeing like back in the day a picture of 02 and Ichigo dripped in honey one day, and I'm like, where the hell did this come from? It's the first. It's one of the images in the first chapter of the manga. I'm like, what? And it was just like, oh, I was not expecting that. I was expecting to get hit with that off rip. Like, at least let me like get to the backstory. Before you, at least let me know the characters before you show me the fan service.
No.
But there
Nothing
is.
if not committed.
And speaking of fan service, there's like one thing that is funny, and that is because the manga takes like 2 years later to come out, they actually rewrite the entire back half of the story. And by rewrite the entire back half, they pretty much just like move one storyline up, have a fight in which Zeta, you remember the episode where they fight that being that just like for some reason just rips off all the girls' clothes? Or, like that acid demon or whatever?
Not really.
Well, I remember because people wouldn't stop showing images about it on Twitter. But I read a little bit
I
further.
remember it.
But it was during that exact. But the difference was, they just went back to the thing. They had that fancy moment, yada yada. The difference is, when this happens, they did change the story so that Ichigo gets captured.
Huh.
And then from there, the entire rest of the plot changes.
This is starting to remind me of the Evangelion manga.
It always comes back to that stupid manga.
I mean, do you remember one of the biggest changes in that manga, right?
No.
Kyoru is around from like the middle chunk onward.
Oh yeah, kind of like what they do with the rebuilds, kind of.
Yeah. So everything goes completely differently from that point onward.
I mean, yeah. But
and then for some weird reason, end of is still end of somehow. And it's like, oh, all right.
I mean, of course. So yeah, that is pretty much my week. Well, there's one more thing about my week, which was I got more deeper into Wuthering Waves. I caught up to the start of the 2.0 stuff. Like I literally just reached the new area, had moved it on because again got sick. I would have probably pumped through it because it like takes like 2-3 hours depending on details, and I would have probably got through it and it's like that. But damn, it's amazing how much you enjoy a game when you can actually play it and it not have frame drops and not crash on you.
Yeah.
Because playing that game on the release month was torture. And by that, I mean I waited till the first patch came out and it was garbage.
I remember those days. I tried playing that fucking thing on mobile.
See, I was kind of smart enough to just not install it.
Honestly,
That's true. I installed it. I was like, oh, I'll give it a chance. Why not? Barely made it to the tutorial. Barely made it to the city, and it just stopped. Came back one actual time to see how it was gonna run, and that was when Camellia dropped. Picked her up, and then just jumped the game completely. And then I'm not even joking. I saw a particular character in the people, like, again. Excuse me. But yeah, I saw one particular character in like clips that were going around on Twitter about this demon goat girl with like the suit, and I'm just like, okay, I guess I will try out the game again, and then also learned that conveniently got on PS5. So I'm like, oh, okay. And being able to actually, play the game with it actually like running changed a lot of my perspective.
Huh.
Yeah, I had that more specifically with Genshin, because I tried playing that on mobile for so long until I got a PS5. And the difference from playing it on that tiny ass screen with touch controls, and you were lucky if you were maintaining 20 FPS, to full 60, I don't have time to like make my entire dinner on a load screen. It's transformative.
Yeah.
That was me on my PS4 with Genshin. I'm like I literally dreaded playing it on my PS4 because I'm like, every time I loaded it up, it took a long time. Like, not even to like update, just literally just to get into the game, into the world itself.
Yeah.
Like, when you open that door, it's just like, it took like good 2 minutes. I'm like, okay.
I genuinely couldn't do late game Spiral Abyss stuff in that game on PS4 because the enemies took too long to load in each half. Like, I could clear them on mobile, but I couldn't clear them on PS4. Tell me what the fuck is wrong with that.
That is too funny. I could not imagine you losing out on rewards because the PS4 literally had a stroke midway through.
Yeah, they give you your time limit and they say, well, take 12 seconds off of that at the start. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah, so overall, I'm really enjoying Wuthering Waves right now. I think what also I think it's also kind of just like, it has that kind of like weird grace period of like, I'm finally getting into the game now. Yay. That and both Genshin and Star Rail are kind of oof right now. Zenless is cool. Zenless is cool right now, but
I saw they added that new update they added to Zenless, like co-op for that new what was it, Bizarre Brigade or whatever it's called, the Vampire Survivors clone.
I have not touched that.
That thing having co-op now is destroying my time.
So, but yeah, that has been my previously on break. Zeta, you want to go next?
Yeah, so what's the best way for me to summarize what happened in the interim? I've started battling the undead. I'm now a level 1 exorcist.
Well, you did all that, you only got level 1.
I know, right? Like, the XP grind for, like, exorcism is obnoxious.
Damn.
Trust me.
What ghost were you fighting? Bobby Kotick?
Look, man, this is a pretty strong ghost. Just paying the fight. I got caught up on that Red Ranger Isekai anime. Hilarious, by the way. Ranger Reject dropped, had 3 new scan chapters drop. So I'm like, this is the part where everything gets completely loony. Said person for the past 100 and something chapters. I don't know. Dynasty Warriors Origin is definitely a yaoi game.
Straightest game ever made. I've seen the clips. I know.
Right? Greatest game ever made. They're really putting the romance in Romance of the Three Kingdoms with this one. Am I right, bros? Ha ha ha.
Yeah, I need to give that game a fair shake. It's just there's so much other shit surrounding it that is demanding my wallet. I'm like,
Right.
it hurts. It hurts real bad.
Honestly, the gameplay is phenomenal compared to every other like Muso game. It's kind of ridiculous.
It looks unfucking believable.
Yeah.
Like the second they actually dropped a 1v1 crazy boss fight on me, and I'm like, oh, we're doing this now. It's peak. And like apparently like some interview they did earlier where they were like, yeah, so actually we were gonna make a Dynasty Warriors 10 that was just Dynasty Warriors 8 again. I'm just like, oh, so we dodged a bullet. I mean, I got in summarize it, haunted stuff, fun games, fun anime, fun manga. I'll lay down my battle against the evil goes next time.
You know, I do wonder. I wonder if we could ever one day, like, the more I think about Dynasty Warriors Origins, the more I'm just like, man, this game looks so really cool. But I still want a Dynasty Warriors Gundam 4. I'm sorry.
Dynasty Warrior Gundam's Empires. We gotta shoot for the stars here, man.
I mean, that's pretty interesting, though I've never played the Empires games themselves. But
I need the ability to sign an edict where I crash a colony into Earth, alright?
No!
Yeah!
Just. I was not expecting that to come out.
You could charge me 70 for that and I'd pay 80.
Right?
Still more worth than Dear Days.
We're not there yet.
Wait, let's save it for later, because we just make it a list of things more worth it than Dear Days.
Some might already be pulled up in my Firefox tabs.
Oh no, I think I have Sparking Zero installed right now.
I don't know, man. Like, I mean, I have been kind of eyeing that MGG Arena Aether Drift bundle.
Still more worth it than Dear Days too.
Which, you know, slight tangent. Can we talk about how just weirdly cracked Aether Drift is? Like,
I haven't checked out much of the cards, but
I mean,
I like the idea.
I mean, that was fine. Then all of a sudden, I saw them literally put in Speed World. I'm like,
Oh, we ripped it up?
like, literally, there's a mechanic called Start Your Engines. When you play a card with it, you immediately start getting speed counters.
Oh, that's good.
Oh my god. Can I burn 7 to draw 1, though? That's the question.
No. Whoa.
Fuck.
Aw.
Even Vanguard got this shit right.
Right.
Alright, so, if that's all you got, Zeta, then we will now move on to our guests, giving them kind of like a, you know, I was trying to figure out how to transition to this, but my brain fog kicked in. Give us a little more information about yourself.
Well, I am the nth millionth video essay content creator about video games on YouTube, which is very original, I assure you. I primarily specialize in RPGs of a turn-based variety, because it was basically all I could play as a kid growing up, and I'll pretend that changed over time.
Understandable.
And I'm always shit at describing myself.
It's okay. I kind of did put you on the spot there. My bad.
I could have had something prepared. It's fine.
I keep it natural.
Oh. Yeah, and sometimes I like Vanguard more than a normal amount. Sometimes. When they let me.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, that seems to be the running gag here on this podcast.
We love Vanguard here, I swear.
I try.
We tried too.
Sometimes it works even.
Then
I like the anime sometimes.
it's like again, so when I said it, Vanguard is always good in spite of whatever Bushiroad does it.
Damn right.
Alright, so what exactly pursued you to getting into content creation?
There is a safe way to answer this, and there is a depressing way to answer this.
Mm.
The normal way to answer it is that I like talking and writing about games, and I wanted an avenue by which I could interact with other people and not only share my love for the games that I like, but get discussion going with other people that share the similar interests. More specifically to why I started when I did, we were in the middle of a pandemic and I needed something to do that wouldn't drive me insane.
Yep, understandable.
Yeah.
And for what it's worth, it's had its dips here and there as motivation and real life stuff happens, but overall I'm pretty happy with where I am now.
Okay, that's really good to hear. Oh my god, why is come on, stream. You can't be doing this to me every time.
Oh no.
Every special episode.
Yeah, no, I might have to restart my router or something. I don't know, it's because I need to update Streamlabs or what. I don't know what's going on. We're back connected. I've still got the recording good. We're safe. Like, there's no, like, power outage. I've specifically made it so that there's no extra power being used. Though, unless something freaky happens in the next 30 minutes, I don't know what to tell you. But anyway, so what? I'm trying to think of where I could go, because I want to like ask you straight to the Vanguard questions or like the Bushiroad in general questions, but I kind of want to like hold off on a bit of that. So I think I guess this is a good question. So what were some of your favorite RPGs growing up?
So I grew up as a Mega Man Battle Network kid, which is not at all shocking looking at half the shit I make because it's just fucking plastered in Search Man shit everywhere. I was like every child, I imagine. I was raised on copious amounts of Pokemon, though I ended up leaning far more into the mystery dungeon side of things than I did mainline.
Yeah.
Same.
I'm still begging for Explorers of Sky to get the DX remake treatment. How the fuck has it almost been like 4 or 5 years since that game came out?
Listen, we were lucky to get the Rescue Team remake in the first place. I didn't think they were ever going to do that.
I think there's like a wall or like a rule on Game Freak where like if a Pokemon game is too good, they will never touch it again. Out of spite.
I was just like, I don't.
Well, that doesn't make any sense. So then, how the heck did Black and White get 2 games?
Hey, where's my Legends Unova? Where's my Black and White remake?
I love how you went into the. I heard you lean into the mic immediately as I said that.
Gotta do it for effect.
Yeah, I think it's a little fucked up and cruel that most of the Gen 5 rep might have gone into a Scarlet and Violet expansion.
XD and Coliseum got thrown into the void.
I still need to play those. I never had a GameCube growing up.
Conquest has gotten so retconned into oblivion it may as well never exist.
Shiny Rayquaza used to mean something.
We're never seeing the Pokemon Rangers again. The void. Everything's just tossed into the void with Pokemon.
Look, it's fine with the Switch 2. There's still a chance. That's how they'll sell the mouse controls. Fuck Metroid Prime 4.
No, they're gonna sell Splatoon 4 esports.
Oh. Nintendo esports.
Oh, that. Oh.
For everything but Smash.
For everything but Smash.
Oh, that also reminds me another thing that happened in the break. I think I finally broke free of my League of Legends curse.
Good.
I'm happy for you.
Like, I legitimately tried to play it. I was like, oh man, what's good? Alright, they released Mel. Oh man, I wonder how. I know her reflect mechanic is cool, but like, I wonder how the rest she do. The reflect is the most balanced part about her. She has a. Like, you ever saw how people talk about Morgana's bind? In game, Mel's Q basically binds you for Morgana and Lux's length, and it's like, okay, can I move now? She just walks away. I'm like, and then I was like, okay, well, she's crazy. One, that's fine. And then she just stomps my entire team. Like, oh, that's fine. Let me fight her. She's at like a third of health. That's fine. I still barely win, even as the freaking tank. I know this is weird to say as a tank player, but oh well. I was like, the point is she was busted, and I was like, okay, what numbers did they do to her? They had the hotfix nerf her. She had a 25% max health execute. And I'm just like, who said this is a good idea at all? Combined with the other changes they made to the map, combined with the other balance changes, and disconnected from stream. And it combined with the fact that they've just gotten more and more predatory this past year alone. I was like, you know what? I think I'm done. I just need to get out of this game.
Sorry, I was doing the league talk, huh?
I'm hearing all of this, and it has about the same tone as me deleting Twitter off my phone on election night while I was sick with the flu. Just all the right elements converge into one another, and an epiphany happens.
Yep. Like, I think mentally the final straw was them saying, oh man, you know Mordekaiser? We're gonna make him a $250 skin.
Who?
Yes.
What the fuck is wrong with these people?
But wait, it's gonna be the third one.
And what?
After the Jinx one that came out that was a spoiler for the end of Arcane. And the set one, they released literally the patch later. That were gotcha skins. They were $250 because the max amount to hit actual pity was $250.
Gosh.
So they said,
what the fuck do you mean gotcha skin?
yes.
Gotcha skin.
As in gotcha.
Gotcha.
As in you buy RP, put it into a system to then to get into a different currency, to then pull for stuff in a giant pool of things, and then one of those will randomly be the skin for Jinx set or potentially Mordekaiser.
If I lost my 50-50 on an outfit, I might end it all.
Right.
But like that's what I'm saying. The pity, there's no 50-50. Like there's a max cap of when you get it. But to make sure you actually get it, cost would be the exact amount, around $250.
Death. I have no words.
This is not to mention this is one after they fired so many artists and riggers.
Look, it's fine.
And two,
device grip.
And two, they've said for years the reason they didn't drop more ultimate skins, which was like their previous like big tier maker, was because it took a long time to reach the character's fantasy. Well, they certainly found 3 fantasies real quick. Like you thought they had no more fantasies, and then all of a sudden here's 3. And it just sickened me, and I was like, y'all are not the game or the quote unquote the company. I say I was actually cool with. Thought, yeah, no, y'all making some good stuff. Like y'all actually just cooked. I can't even do this no more.
Well, at least you're free now.
Yep.
And
Anyway,
you know
back
what's next to being free?
What?
Dokapon.
No.
Yeah. What's wrong?
So anyway,
The new game came out earlier.
now, are you exactly more of a fan of Mega Man Battle Network specifically, or are you more just an overall Mega Man fan?
I'm more a fan of the RPGs than I am Mega Man as a whole. That would require me to be good at the ones that aren't RPGs. That's just, after all these years, that has really never changed. So it is primarily Battle Network and Star Force. Assuming they give me another one of those in my lifetime, barring a Star Force collection.
Add-on.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about Battle Chip Challenge?
I've yet to play Battle Chip Challenge. Partially because they didn't include it in the collection.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
You've never heard of Battle Chip Challenge?
Nope. To be fair, I've never played the Battle Network games like that. I watched the the show they're based off on, which was in English. I think was NT Warrior.
Yeah.
But like I've never actually like played the games themselves because they were on like Game Boy Advance, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I just never had. Like the thing about me is I've never had a actual like in relevance console during the time, they're relevant. For example, I was still rocking a regular Game Boy while I was in middle school.
Oh, wow.
God damn.
Now it was fun because it was probably the only way I could still play Pokemon reasonably. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is cool. I get to play Silver. No wait, was it Silver or Crystal? Yeah, I think it was Crystal. It was Crystal I was playing, and I was like, yeah, I'll get to just enjoy the game. But yeah, I've mostly been like behind everything. Like my SNES isn't even mine. It's actually my brother's, but he lent it to me. So I've never really actually like played a Battle Networking, which is the funny thing. I should buy that Battle Network collection though.
You really should.
They're really good.
Yeah.
It reminds me I have to buy that for a third time because I still need to own it physically.
Yeah, that would help.
I'd gotten it on Switch. Well, I'd pre-downloaded on Switch day one so that I could get footage for it faster. Faster in air quotes. And then I ended up double dipping for it on PlayStation on sale. I don't remember why I did that, truthfully. Just felt right in the moment.
Mm.
Oh no, I remember. It was because I was insistent on using the built-in PS5 capture to get footage off of that system because I didn't want to move it from my TV setup, and then I moved it anyway. It's like, well, shit, I guess I just own a second copy of this for basically no reason. I've made dumber decisions. I technically bought Xenoblade 1 Definitive twice.
I mean, that's fine. Speaking of Pokemon Black, I think I've bought the game about 4 times.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth it.
Yeah, but I think most of the times because they got lost somewhere.
Oh.
Like, it's even crazier because I'm like, I found my super copy literally just this last year. Like the copy I've like played the most out of all of them, and it was in like the very back of my van, like under the seats. And I'm not just talking like, oh, like they just fell under seats. No, I mean like under the seat, like actually like on the bottom of the van itself, like flat, like before, like because I got somebody to come and like hard wash the entire like the entire like carpet, and so they were like, I can take this out. I can take this out. We put it in, put it back in. We good. So I'm like, okay, let's do it. He takes it out, and we find the cartridge under the seat, and it still works. So I'm like,
Nice.
yeah. Except one thing, they killed the 3DS, so I can't get him out.
Oh no.
Like I think they literally killed it like a month before I found it.
That's just cruel.
It is cruel with unusual punishment. So, I suppose I'm trying to think of the next question lane to kind of go to because
There was technically one other series I almost considered bringing up, but I wasn't sure if we were ready to fly off the rails that hard yet.
Oh, what series?
Well, I guess before we talk about Vanguard, I think the only other path we can go down is the one you know that starts with the sky. So what exactly got you into the Trail series?
Oh, I see why this collab happened now. Oh, I see.
No.
Oh, I mean, I was the one in chat that made the. Oh God, what was that even about? Was this the? Oh God, it was in reference to the talk about Taizo and Erica, wasn't it?
Oh yes, the
That's
Probably,
exactly
yeah.
where that. Yep. uh,
the whole Tita Nugget thing. Okay.
right.
Yes. So
So no, what got? I mean, I think it's most accurate to say the thing that got me into Trails was Ease 8. I had picked that game up on a whim because one of my locals friends who has a very normal relationship with Draconic Overlord had recommended it to me.
Nobody who likes Dragonic Overlord has a completely normal relationship with Dragonic Overlord.
Fuck. You're not wrong.
it is true. If you love Dragonic Overlord, you love Dragonic Overlords.
You people are ride or die for that guy.
But no, I picked that game up on a whim on Switch, and it surprisingly ran, which is not what I heard that game did at launch. And a few years down the line, I wanted a charming little RPG to play on my Switch after the fact. Remembered that Falcom had another series they worked on. And then the brain disease hit. Boy, did it fucking hit.
Yeah. Like when the brainworms get you, it gets you.
You really do.
Start out, it's like, yep, it's just this relatively compact 40-50 hour thing. It's not a big deal.
You say that right in front of Zeta, who still needs to get back to that first chapter.
I really do, but then Dinosaur Origins came out.
Uh-huh.
And then the remakes at like the tail end of the year anyway, so it's like.
And I still gotta find like 5 more people to go play us. I mean, 2 more people to go play the new Dokapon game.
So 1, I'm talking about Trails of Daybreak. 2, yeah. I forgot what 2 is gonna be. So the thing is, I did try to get Zeta to play a Trails game before. I think I made the mistake. My idea was at the time, like, this was like years ago, but like at the time I was like, you know what, I want him to play like a Trails game, but I don't know if he'll be fine with Sky's graphical thing. So I just said, you know what, here's Cold Steel, because again, this was like back in the day, like we were still in Cold Steel 3 waiting room.
Yeah, we're like, what the fuck's a crossbell?
So I'm like, you know what, here, you can have it. I put it to him, and no joke, he literally said, you couldn't even complete the first section, did you? Or something like that.
I mean, I got to the school and like I walked around and talked to people, and then yeah. No.
So, I said, you know what? Give it some more time. Maybe he'll get back to it. Never got back to it. So thankfully,
Too many things come out.
yeah. But thankfully, Daybreak's here and we can take it at. Oh yeah, I remember what the second thing was. You said you didn't have $70 for dice.
I didn't. I had to take out a loan with the personal bank of Zeta.
Look, when it's a series you're really passionate about, you do what you gotta.
That is fair. I can't hate on that.
Like this, not this. It's basically February already. I don't care what my calendar says.
Everyone here is going to pretend that they have $70 for Monster Hunter Wilds. I already know.
Damn right.
Not me. Because I unfortunately do not have any connection to Monster Hunter to actually play it, unfortunately.
Fair.
And then there's me picking up Daybreak 2 and then playing Wilds like barely 2 weeks after. It's like they've got me hit with both of them. I'm sure there's something else in March besides Xenoblade X that'll monopolize my time and funds.
All I know is Daybreak unfortunately kind of aligns with the BCS Tampa.
Oh, I see.
I think, which is like, ooh. But I think I can wait on it. So I'm good with that.
And knowing my luck, I'll have to wait on it anyway. If the usual shipping fiascos with NIS America and their limited editions and shit are as slow as I've heard.
Oh yeah. Which is actually kind of funny because I really remember getting my CS. Wait. I'm trying to remember. Did I buy CS4 twice? No, I did not. Wait. I'm not gonna.
Question isn't did you, the question is would you have?
You see, it was a different time. I don't know.
Like, I can't guarantee that if I see the shipping date for that limited edition and see that it's like super close to Wilds, there's no guarantee I won't load up PSN and buy it again.
So, now, what was the first Trails game exactly you started with?
Zero. Trails
okay.
from Zero. Yeah, I started with Zero. I was all but completely blind on stuff prior to Crossbell until I want to say it would be like the tail end of chapter 2-ish in that game, at which point I kind of did some rudimentary recap stuff as it pertained to stuff in that game.
Yep.
And then I kind of just marathoned the rest of the series from there, even to the point of putting all 4 Cold Steels plus Reverie in my mouth in almost exactly 1 month.
That is. Oh yes, I remember you tweeting about that moment. I was like, wait, damn, you're done already? What?
Yeah, I didn't value sleep very highly that month. I would not recommend that anyone else do as I do, but I won't say that I regret what I did.
I mean, of course, never regret what you do, even if it's regretful.
Yeah, they have pretty well infected me with the brain disease. They got me to platinum an RPG for the first time in 10 years. There's no going back.
Yep, it's over. Now, let's see. So, did you go back to Sky directly after Crossbow, or did you immediately go into Cold Steel? I'm forgetting about that
I immediately went into Cold Steel.
part. Okay.
I have only gotten fairly early on into Sky FC because I recently got it on Steam. Because I didn't really game on PC at all before I got this build. So now that not that I had a PC that wasn't capable of running the Sky games.
I mean, yeah, like
It's like half a potato could run Sky FC. But
it just wasn't
I just wasn't. Yeah, no, I didn't have a proper chair for this setup. I wasn't really used to working over here for stuff outside of video stuff. So I tried to like distance myself from it a bit more. But now that I'm like here at the desk a lot more often now, and with the remake for FC coming later this year, I am gonna sit down and properly run through that as much to have a point of comparison as it is, so I'll have all the footage for it for later.
Good. Because yeah, I think this is the perfect way to kind of to segue into this point. I'm glad because I want to know how you feel about Olivier.
Is there anything to feel about Olivier other than intense love and admiration?
I mean, yes, but also,
I mean, sometimes it can be a little fucking weird, but like, that's half this fucking series cast.
true. But I'm just like, his clone, on the other hand, which, let's, we could go on a whole discussion about who, but actually no, I want to have that discussion right now.
I'm almost mildly scared. I'm like, either this is an elaborate bit about him, or I can't tell if you're talking about someone from Daybreak.
Oh no, I'm not even. I wasn't even talking about Daybreak. I'm sorry. I more so was meant to talk about Angie.
Oh,
just kind of talk.
Why would you ever?
Listen. Okay, so listen. As like, how you say, like, as how you call me one of V's strong soldiers.
Uh-huh.
Well, I am a soldier of Angie for Cold Steel 1 and 2.
Okay, all right.
After that,
I'm
out of ammo.
Common ground.
After that, I'm out of ammo. We good.
Okay, I'm like, all right,
because I'm like,
good.
Because to me, it's like she very much is kind of like meant to be. Excuse me, meant to kind of be like the stand-in for Olivier somewhat in how Cold Steel's like party works somewhat. But there's a lot of
there was a trope to fill.
Except one thing, they went too far with the trope in one way, and two, coexist.
Yeah, no, believe me, that image I had posted a while back of her. There's a reason I picked her. There's a reason I picked her CS3 art.
Yes, I knew that art specifically because I've
Like,
never. Sorry, you go first.
Yeah, I like her well enough in CS 1 and 2. I like that general group dynamic the four in question have. But later stuff kind of sours that dynamic for me in a way that, like, when there is a certain daydream in Reverie, it's like, wow, I really like half of the people involved here.
Yeah.
It's like, I wish it could be more than half.
Yeah, very much that is like people like so, you know, obviously try to keep as low spoiler as possible. One for Zeta and two for the audience.
Mm-hmm.
Like people talk about how like there are a lot of people when CS3 and 4 kind of came out that were talking about how, oh man, it feels like when blank character turns in, like, man, it feels like they just watered down these characters or whatnot and everything. I'm just like, and I just kind of take a look at who particularly they were talking to, and I'm like, I feel like not really. Meanwhile, I'm looking at one of my favorite characters in the arc basically be gone from, you know, degenerate but still active, still has a story to everything in the first two games, to becoming DJ academics in the last two, and I'm just like, what's going on? And by that I mean, if you don't know what that is, who that is, let's just say,
I think I get the implication.
yeah. She became not like us. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
So it's like watching that in real time was pain.
It's fucked up too, because like she's really one of the only characters up to that point that I feel that way about. That I can think of anyway. Like, you have to try exceptionally hard to make me start to actively dislike a character in this series.
And they pushed it like, oh, I could write a 50-page on Angie and just how she was handled. But I feel like if I continue in this podcast, we're gonna be here all night.
Yeah, if this tangent goes on any longer, I feel like we're gonna put Zeph in a coffin.
Yeah, I'm just been chilling.
So, let's kind of move on to the next point, which is how did you feel about Reen specifically? Because
I don't entirely understand why people don't like him. It's just a case of like Okay, well, I guess I can see why people don't like him, especially earlier on. There's a prevailing theme with him that kind of goes on throughout the arc that kind of keeps rearing its head. And I tend to see people argue that's like, put this, it's like it's viewed as a lack of growth. Like it's implied, people view him as someone that stays relatively stagnant throughout the entirety of Erebonia, and I don't entirely agree with that, but I can see why people think that, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm quite articulating what I'm trying to get across here
No,
well
I
enough.
get you. I understand you.
And I can say
So
as Mr. John only played the game for like 2.5 hours. He feels a little stock standard almost. Like at least initially, you give the first impression is pretty template.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that can, for better or worse, that can kind of apply to a lot of Trails characters at first rub. Like they are very much a case of anime tropes that they try to flesh out as the games go on, and it can make for some very rough first impressions.
Yeah.
yeah, so back on the whole thing. I think one of the things I kind of get from people is that I think for like a lot of people in the West who have been kind of like indie or like kind of have like this kind of thing in the anime sphere, if you have any like feeling close to like, how do I put this? It feels like the Western anime fandom or like Western anime culture at the time. And I say like at the time as if like it's changed all the way. It's more like by the time Cold Steel 1, 2, 3, and 4 came out, it really is dependent on how or whether or not you've basically forgiven Sword Art Online. I feel like that's the best way to say it. Just case in point.
Just frame one.
Like that explains so much right there, man. Like SAO hurt a lot of people by existing, and it's never really gotten past that point. So I think a lot of people see him as as a Kirito clone because SAO became so popular. Everyone's copying all the protagonists like characters with that, and so whenever they see black-haired boy with a sword with big titty waifus all around him, gotta be a Kirito clone.
Yeah, but it's not just any sword. It's a special.
Pretty on mark.
And it's like
the color palettes match. Like, what am I supposed to say?
Oh, sorry, Z.
Yeah, it's like, and it's not even just like, oh yeah, he's a black-haired kid with a sword that's like, supposed to be super cool. It's like, no, is even down to having like a special sword style that isn't like. You look at all of the other people that use swords or just use swords in general out of Class 7. They're like, there's only one of these motherfuckers wielding a katana. And I'm like, and granted, like, the significance of that in that world, sort of explains that. It's like cool knowing what we do about that sword style at the time to be following like for your main character to be a practitioner of that style is like really interesting, especially coming off of the previous practitioners from other arcs.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I definitely understand where people come from with him, especially in like CS1.
Even the cover, waifu's blonde, just like Asuna.
Yeah.
What first impression are you expecting people to get?
It's in this moment I'm reminded that this isn't Trails, but it is Falcom, so it's tangentially related. That the dub voice actors for the two main characters of East 10 are literally the English VAs for Kirito and Asuna.
They're inescapable.
Uh-huh.
Wait, I didn't even get to play East 10. Are you certain like that? Oh
Yeah, Adol is Bryce Papenbrook and Karja is Jeremy Lay.
Oh wow. I never died.
So as you can see, I'm actually completely justified in never forgiving Sword Art Online.
Yeah, I feel like, especially compared to other MCs, Reen is just like he is the epitome of Trails playing the long game with a character rather than a story. And like Cold Steel games are all fucking long. They're like, 70, 80 per game at minimum. And there's functionally 5 of them if you include Reverie.
Dude, if I need 300 hours to fully invest into a character, I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, the whole thing is hopefully by the end of the first game, you've invested in him enough. Or
so
least...
by the 80-hour mark.
Right, it's like he's not... that's the thing, is like, he's not as static as I think some people would believe. As you move from game to game, it's just there's just so much other shit going on around him that it makes it hard to focus in on him.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, I mean, you literally start the game with 8 party members.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have to know each of them in like chunks. And they all each have their own unique stories and whatnot, combined with the overarching storyline of the first game.
Like, I think the biggest problem I have is that, like, he kind of... It's almost like a relic of the time, right? Like, already.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he is the Battle Magic High School protagonist.
Yeah? No, I definitely get that.
It's kind of funny because, like, I think about it, I'm like, man, that would be when, like, those, like, light novels and anime would start kind of popping up, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the exact time period.
Which is kind of funny because, like, Trails kind of always just, like, finds its way into, like, not copying, but, like, kind of, like, or, like, predicting, but more so this kind of, like, finding its way into the flow of the times. Because, you know...
Nope. It's the worst time for this one.
Yeah, at no point would I have believed you if you told me that one of Crossbell's biggest influences is Full Metal Alchemist.
Yep. How so exactly? We will not tell. Play the games. They're on Steam right now.
Fuck around, play Trails, and find out.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Yep.
Maybe someday.
I mean, I'm sure I'm sure whatever careers program they have has only like 10 people. Any of us could get in.
So, yeah.
So anything else on this front you have in mind, Zechs, or should we rip the Band-Aid off?
One more thing.
A nice Tales cast.
Okay, one more question.
Don't give me ideas. I might drag Zechs into a Daybreak 2 spoiler cast at some point before I'm dead.
Hey, I'm cool with it.
I'm free. I get
Zeta rips the chains over his head. I'm good.
I get to see the light for 1 week.
So, you know what? Here's a good question, and we gotta specifically kind of keep a little bit off because Zeta's actually wanting to play the game a bit now. But
Mhm.
what did you think of when people were kind of like, I don't want to say people were trying to be like, oh man, Trills has gone woke or something like that, but like the amount of people who kind of like were trying to like shit on how the politics were trying to be run or like were presented in this game compared to all the others.
I was about to say, is this pertaining to a certain introduction in Daybreak 1 by chance?
I mean, no.
Because there is exactly, the moment you started, there was exactly one scene that came to mind that I'm like, oh no, this will make Twitter people very angry. And it almost makes me wish I was still there.
So, you know what? Funny, I gotta come clean. I was not thinking it at the start, but as it literally exited my mouth, trying to form the sentence, the actual words showed up in my brain. It was just like, oh no! Like it auto corrected into it. But more so, I kind of meant more like how the specific how to put this. F it. How'd you feel about the racism? I have no other way to go.
Alright. On a scale of 1 to Final Fantasy 16, how forced is it?
Remember it being all that. I don't know if forced is necessarily
Sorry,
the way I describe it.
heavy-handed would be the best. Like,
I certainly don't recall it being anything on the level of the opening of Metaphor.
alright.
So it is not on the level. It's not on the level of a dog man being called a peasant, spat on, and kicked in the face.
Honestly, that is still a 5 on that scale compared to Final Fantasy 16. Maybe a 3.
You know what? There's a better transition point. Let's go. You know what? Metaphor. How do you feel about all of a sudden Metaphor? Like, what do you think of like people being like, "Oh man, Metaphor is game of the year," all this great stuff. Yet, when I just kind of like people when they're like when people looked at it who were Trails fans, I kind of noticed it was just this is just Daybreak with a budget.
Okay, I understand this primarily thing that's coming from like, I imagine the combat. Like that's always the first thing people think of whenever they talk about Metaphor and Daybreak is like, what the fuck? They both have the same like style of hybrid combat. I think it's deeply fascinating that two completely disparate studios came to the same conclusion about how to innovate on turn-based RPG combat. And sort of in different ways, too. Because, like, obviously Atlas isn't, like, known for action games. It's like they did the Raito duology on PS2, and that was kind of it.
Well, you know, there was a Dreamcast hidden gem, Maken X.
Oh god, I know this name, but I've never seen it.
It's from the deep crypts known as the unpopular Shin Megami Tensei games. An Endless Void.
Oh god, is this localized? This was North American Dreamcast art. Oh my god. First person hack. Okay, anyway, I gotta close that before I end up scrolling through the whole Wikipedia page. What the fuck? I gotta look into that later. Is there other, again, I'm struggling to think of anything other than the combat. I mean, I guess technically Daybreak places a much heavier emphasis on like commentary on racism, which kind of lines it up with metaphor. But that's something that, it's not like that came out of nowhere with Daybreak. That is something that they've alluded to with Calvard, like through previous arcs, when other people have talked about like people migrating to the Republic from like the Far East, and like the events that sort of make living out there more difficult. I hadn't really thought about that.
Yeah,
It's always just the it's always just been about the combat, because it's always like, it feels like the action RPG equivalent of everyone saying, hey, Pokemon made the monster collecting RPG subgenre. Or like, motherfucker, Mega 10 existed first. It's like that sort of argument.
Dragon Quest 5, Ultra 7.
Right. Like, it's just this thing where I understand why people jump to that. Because they're like, what the fuck? Why didn't we get recognized for this?
Right.
But it's also like, metaphor is this standalone thing that just gets to double as like a conceptual culmination of all of Atlas's shit by virtue of like having people stay at the company for an extended period of time and like develop their talents.
It's an art project.
Yeah. And then Daybreak 1 is like the 10th, or no, the 11th or 12th, depending on where you slot Nayuta into the mix, a game of deeply interconnected, obscenely long turn-based RPGs. So it's like, I get it.
For long, it's like, it's hard to get noticed at that point, right?
Right, because it's like you have to bank on a wide range of people having been committed enough to like get to that point, if they're not people that just started there and prayed they just get all of the surrounding stuff.
And you gotta hope the people that are thinking of starting there don't get overwhelmed by like a whole load of homework.
Right. Which, to its credit, is something that Daybreak 1 attempts to get around, because it's like a decent-ish time skip after the previous arc, but then other writing decisions sort of lean back into, oh, fuck, okay, yeah, like, it's 11 games and you probably should have played the other ones by that point. We're sorry we haven't ported the Sky games off of PC.
Yeah. So
like feels like it should have been its own, like a new IP almost, right? Like maybe tangentially related, but like different title.
So
If it makes any sense.
No, they definitely build up a lot of stuff about that region that it was still very much going to be connected to the others. But it's a little difficult to explain without getting into spoilers.
The basics is, I think, well, really, they wanted to probably just separate the West and the East, and probably want to do it in a way that was like, oh, well, how do we do that? And they were saying, well, probably gameplay. Re-innovate the gameplay, make it more modernized, while still trying to find a way to keep the turn-based JRPG system intact that a lot of people love us for, And so that's probably where that separation was coming in.
Yeah,
Think of
that's
that like.
Oh, sorry.
yeah. No, go
Like,
ahead.
think of that like hybrid system for like action, like turn-based. Like we also have what Final Fantasy VII Remake also coming out in like around the same time period. Like it seems like there's just been a lot of experimentation, like hybrid turn-based real-time combat.
Yeah,
Like
that's
a lot.
yeah. It seems to just kind of be more of Square Enix just trying to find this action RPG like pocket that
I
some
mean,
of the studios were just like, man, frick it, we'll do it ourselves, dog.
yeah, because I think like with Square Enix, I think they're going to like stick with this because we've seen when they're 15 and 16, right? They're big forays into action RPGs, like trying to like completely ditch turn-based. They didn't go well twice in a row.
Well,
Like
Yeah.
people want turn-based no matter how much Square Enix thinks turn-based is dead.
I mean, I don't think it's that people want turn based. I think people want Final Fantasy to be turn based because it's what Final Fantasy was built upon. Like even with 13, it still kept turn based elements throughout
Right.
all three versions of that all three games of that storyline. Like even the solo game where you turn lightning into an eventual Louis Vuitton model, you still had like a turn-based system.
Dude, how was that guy allowed to just make a waifu dress-up simulator
I
on
don't
like
know.
on like a $20 million budget?
Like I remember when people were talking about people were like actually like I don't know if it was from him or somebody else, but I remember somebody saying like one of the pluses, one of the benefits of Lightning Returns was that Lightning went up a cup size. I'm like, oh god, kill me.
It was him.
Get that quote on my fucking desk. What do you mean?
All right, let me look.
He's like, I really like lightning, and it made a game. I just think she's neat, said the director of the game.
Okay. Here we go. This is the first thing I see. Here we go. This is from Dual Shockers. I can't believe I had to look this up. According to director Motomo Toriyama, one of the things we'll find in Lightning Returns Final Fantasy 13 will be Hope's growth as seen from Lightning's motherly point of view. Looks like Hope isn't the only one that has grown though, and Lightning's body seems to have received quite the upgrade during her self-imposed crystal stasis. During one of the Square Enix Presents live streams at E3 with Toriyama himself and producer Yoshinori Kitase, the host asked if they could share Lightning's 3 sizes. The answer was interesting to say the least. According to the design team, while we cannot give specific numbers for the 3 sizes, the breast size has actually changed. In Final Fantasy 13, she had a C cup, now she has a D. Editor's note, a Japanese D cup is roughly equivalent to an American C, while a Japanese C cup is roughly equivalent to an American B.
Hold on.
They will not see the gates.
No. No.
The gates are forever locked.
Yep.
I'm just.
If I have anything to say about it, they are.
Right.
Holy shit.
It's like.
I both love and despise this fucking company sometimes. And that's coming from a Kingdom Hearts fan. That shit's... I say that with my entire chest.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I just think Kingdom Hearts fans are victims at this point.
We are.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
That's why I see so many people like starting to play Kingdom Hearts now. I'm like, no, back out.
Like, well, at least you have plenty of time to catch up.
Like saw
I'm still wondering
Crystal.
what happened during that event where, like, apparently Nomura just had a revelation about the franchise during, like, some convention. And bro probably just went, I'm ending the series with 4.
He had an epiphany. The mouse took a bat to the back of his head.
Yeah?
No
Like,
keyblade, just a bat.
you're done. You get one game, get out after.
I mean, it does kind of make me sad because I know, like, even if it isn't the final game, like, so many people that, like, when I was growing up in the listening to, like, Kingdom Hearts podcasts, I know pretty much have kind of, like, all moved on after 3 came out. I know, one, like, the biggest, known, members of the community for Kingdom Hearts said, like, yeah, no, after 4, I'm retiring.
Which one was this?
Churro.
Oh.
Yeah, he said, like,
Damn.
after 4 releases, I'm retiring from, reporting on Kingdom Hearts.
I mean, I don't blame him. Like, we've been on this wild ride for, like, what, 20 years? I've been here since Kingdom Hearts 2.
Okay.
Yeah, the fact that these motherfuckers came up and said, all right, here's the start of a new arc, and we're waiting years and years for the first game of that arc. I'm like, am
Dude,
I
just
gonna
end
be
it.
in a coffin before it ends?
Like, they just have to end it with the next game. Like,
Which
forget
is-
it.
Which is so crazy because, like, even before that, like, what? It's like, this has got to be weird. We're still waiting on that mobile game, by the way.
Oh,
They really could have just ended it with 2, let's be honest.
Which means that the last official release, which, you know, if that thing gets cooked up, the last official release of a Kingdom Hearts thing, a Kingdom Hearts game, will be the canon Kyrie rhythm game.
Maybe everything being canon was a mistake.
no, I think it's incredibly funny that the rhythm game is canon, actually.
And it's so funny because the final boss of that game is, spoiler warning for Kingdom Hearts Melody Memories, by the way. The fact that final boss of that game is a Kyrie game is the fight some sort of like weird amalgamation of Xehanort. And the fact that how does Kyrie beat it? She turns into Sora and beats it.
Look, they just gotta release Kingdom Heart and be done with it, alright?
Damn right. I would pay good money.
Listen, Sony killed Bloodborne Kart. I don't know. It's like
Yeah, but Kingdom Heart will be official and good. I mean, it won't be good, I'm kidding.
I mean, look, half of these people already have Keyblade gliders. We can figure something out.
Right? You know, just rip off a Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed.
Yeah.
Listen, they couldn't even do it with the Chocobo game. Remember that died this year? Last year, technically?
I forgot about the Chocobo game.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't,
I
because
vaguely remember.
Because I listened to every episode of Gigaboots where they have to say every game in studio that closed last year.
Oh, I love the industry burning down segment.
Or look, I'm just waiting for the first good Dissidia game since Duodecim.
I tend to forget they made another one of those, huh?
Right.
Or
They did.
Yeah.
did they use the Dissidia name for one of those fucking gotchas?
They did.
Oh god, I thought I made that up.
No.
Yeah.
That series got 2 good games and then garbage.
They thought they were dead or alive.
At
And now they're dead.
this point, just fucking port Duodecim. I don't care what you have to do, who you have to sacrifice.
Sacrifice everyone.
All right, come here,
Look.
Foam Stars.
Just re-release Duodecim. If you want to get the hype for the game, add Garland from Strangers of Paradise in. Only one new character needed.
Hey, just add the Limp Bizkit song. We're good.
Well, no, because then we need Fred Durst in the game, as per the contract. You can't use Limp Bizkit without a Fred Durst cameo.
So that means Fred Durst is gonna be the new Devil May Cry anime?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Can't wait for the episode where Dante meets Fred Durst.
I have a very love tolerate relationship with Kingdom Hearts. I just need them to murder that mobile game in cold blood and say we're rebooting Kingdom Hearts 4 and Unreal Engine 4. I don't need that game to run like ass and take how long till 2030?
Despite no game running well on it.
Huh, like a game that died today?
Like, motherfucker, I'm sorry,
Like
I'm not buying a PS5
today.
Pro.
Like, I know we're not supposed to be there, but like, god damn, Warner Brothers is the most.
The end of multiverses.
Warner Brothers gotta be one of my top 5 most unserious companies of all time right now. Like, holy hell.
Bro, they killed Cartoon Network. They are an evil threat.
No, Cartoon
How
Network
do
is
you
not-
even do that?
Because
Right?
this
How do you kill
motherfucker.
Cartoon Network?
Because these motherfuckers do not care about anything but like trying to remove that debt, which is like, man, if only you made stuff that was good.
There is no way the Discovery Channel caused that much damage.
Like, it's excuse me.
My Little Pony has to killed Cartoon Network.
Like, I'm not even like, it's so funny because yesterday Thorgy's Arcade released a video about Fighting Games 2024, and he went on a whole rant about how bad the microtransactions were in multiverses, and he pointed this out. Like, they said last year they lost 100 million in their games division, and they said most of it came from multiverses.
Man, you know what would say multiverses?
You know what other games came out that year?
$250 gotcha skins?
No. Like, you know what else came out that year? Suicide Squad. MK1.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad is basically dead. It got clowned on.
Dead.
MK1 is in limbo. And it
And
basically
Multiverse is dead. MK1 is just like, hey guys, hey guys, put down the knife.
Multiverses has all these microtransactions, and they still with a majority of $100 billion loss.
I'm just saying, all they needed was Hanna-Barbera Ultraman.
I mean, I think one of the issues is that your roster, which is not the way you handle everything, and then your actual roster releases were not strong enough. Like, cool, Power-Up Girls and everything, but it's like people actually got excited
LeBron
when
James killed the game. I'm gonna say it. LeBron James killed multiverses.
That's insane.
Like
really
all
do
hype
have-
for that game went poof because it went full. Like, yeah, no, like this just a shield game. Like we just got a shield into its product. Yeah, like nothing matters.
But like they put Marceline and Raven in. That was like the most people talked about that game. And it was
Wow,
the last characters.
The last gasp of a dying game. The Gooners.
So Overwatch 2.
Yes. So, like, and then the Godzilla was just chilling in like the files for like 2 years. That would have got people playing the game. Well, I don't know. The roster was a complete mess. Like, it's almost the same kind of bad as like PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale, where it's just all over the place.
Oh, I'm sorry. I heard you were trying to say something.
Oh.
See? Yeah.
I was muted.
Oh.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I thought I heard you say something.
I assume the ghost is back.
Oh no. Again.
Okay, so let's get off multiverse. It's not the multiverses episode, But yeah, Warner Brothers has just become top 5 most unserious. And speaking of top, Falcom is also in that top 5 because oh my god, they have some issues too with some other things. But
how hard is it to not step on a rake?
I don't know. Hey, Kadani.
Oh, we're just entering. All right.
Yeah, it's been about an hour and a half. We can get to it now. Yeah, this is all a trick. I deceived you. This is actually us finally just cooking Bushy Road once and for all.
What do you mean for all? Like, we're gonna be doing this like every 2 weeks in perpetuity.
Fair point. Anyway, so you as a fellow Vanguard want-to-liker yourself.
Certainly try. Which knife are we pulling out of the drawer?
Well, first, let's actually start with something nice before we pull out the blade. How did you start with Vanguard?
I started by coming across a random fan subbed episode of season 1 on YouTube. It was, I think, specifically the episode that Aichi and Korin fight at Sai for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like split the episode was split into like 2 or 3 parts. I think I literally found part 2 of it, so they were just in the middle of the fight and I had no clue what the fuck was going on.
A very, very important episode for my own like case study on the series.
But I ended up working my way back and eventually pestered family into importing a Japanese blaster blade TD that I would go on to memorize all of the shit from because I did not want to wait for an English release.
Hell yeah.
And then they announced the English release.
Yep,
like,
that's
not
how it works.
Not
Yeah.
all that long after. So, yeah, I basically got in around like
The jump.
I was one of the what sounds like is an increasing number of people who just existed around JP Set 4 and comic style. Like that period of time in the game where like the biggest content creators for the game were like RPG Caster and Difference in Skill And we're like, wow, these motherfuckers know how to talk into a mic while a game goes on in the background. They're masters at this shit. I feel old. I feel very
You
old.
encountered one of the old sages of Cardfight Vanguard.
Yeah, every time I look at the old mat I got from an old giveaway that had to be oh, I'm like, God, I've had this fucking thing since middle school. I'm 26 going on 27. What the hell happened?
Yep.
Gosh.
All right, so yeah, that's a very nice backstory.
God, I feel like I'm struggling to not have the flashbacks as it all comes rushing back. It was an interesting time. I ended up just teaching a couple of friends from my school. Like I essentially wrote a makeshift rule book for the game based on my understanding of it and just split that TD in half and handed the other half to someone when I'd play. They're much simpler times.
Much simpler. Back when the ignorance was at an all-time high.
Yeah. And that was before I walked all the way across town past not safe traffic that people should be walking on foot across just to see if Walmart stocked the Narukami TD. You know, back when Walmart actually had Vanguard in stock.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. I'm trying to figure out how we go from here because we had this nice, wholesome thing, and now I'm just like, so
no,
how
you're
do
gonna
we rule
stab
it
me.
All right. So, do you think? You know what? Here we go. The opinion of Vanguard.
Unfortunately,
Oh,
I
no.
do.
Yeah, that's the problem here. That we think about Vanguard.
How do you feel about the current way things are being? Well, hold on. Let's kind of dial it back before. When we made the change from G to V, and then how V had been handled, do you think there was a way that? Do you? How about this? Do you think they could have handled the way V went better, so that we didn't kind of end in this weird position leading into the D era? Or rather,
I think
sorry, or rather, let me rephrase that. Because of how, do you think? Nope, never mind. I completely lost what I was trying to phrase.
what I will say is that V might have gone differently if they had anything vaguely resembling ideas.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We are speaking on the Bount arc of Cardfight Vanguard.
Man, we wish this was a GA arc Vanguard.
And I say this as someone who literally would not have a locals today if V did not exist.
Okay. Well, let's give V some credit, all right? It's at least a Fullbringer arc. Kidding.
I think parts of V are on the level of the Fullbring arc. Although I don't know. Yeah, we're on Vanguard. No, I shouldn't have made the Mount comparison. I could throw us on a whole other
Don't worry.
tangent,
Don't
but I
worry. The
won't.
Bleach
Hey,
cast.
listen,
I'm gonna end the Bleach cast right now. Soul Society arc we're in Bleach. Substitute Soul Reaper arc was the best part of the series. You will not change my mind on this issue.
anyway, continue.
I have a similar hot take that's more pertaining to Vanguard, but I'll save that for later if it's if it's relevant. B, provided both of you have seen the latest episode, because otherwise I can't reference it.
I have seen the latest episode.
We'll have like a mini spoiler segment, I guess.
Okay.
We'll get to that later.
All right. But no, I mean, the era started with look, I can't tell you for certain how accurate or loose the adaptation of it was, but the era started with a retelling of the original manga. Like, they didn't have... You could make an argument it was an anniversary thing. Maybe. In the sense that, like, Yu-Gi-Oh will celebrate its, 20th or 25th forever?
Oh my god. It's been 3 years of the 25th anniversary.
It's just, it's hard to speak in hypotheticals because I don't know what they thought they were accomplishing. Outside of, like, obviously trying to, like, bring new blood in with familiar faces and, like, it's hard for me to argue. Well, I also just wasn't around as actively enough during the tail end of, well, more like G Next. I ended up coming back around towards the tail end of G. But it's like, I don't have a good point of reference for if the game was bleeding players badly enough that they felt the need to reboot. Like, if that was something they felt was necessary just to get, like, a boost to player numbers.
If I tell you the like reported reasons for why, you're gonna scream.
Oh boy.
Hidani took a trip to America, touring around card shops, saw Magic the Gathering, said, "Wait, this rotation thing's kind of cool," and the rest was history.
I will not wish violence. I will not wish violence. I will not wish violence.
To clarify that, an interview came out around before the official announcement of the V series. That an interview Kadari did when he went to America. He went to card shops, and he noticed how Magic the Gathering was doing things. So he did a little more research. And so the assumed thing is that one of the main reasons V existed was, and combined with some other information, which we'll talk about when we talk about how they transitioned into D, was that, excuse me, was that they felt like, Kadani wanted to do it. He wanted to try it out. But he chose to start with the manga as a base point for a reboot while keeping everything, like the whole multimedia project still going, was another reason, was probably because it'd be much more safer, because they had an idea for a prototype of Overdress, but they want to be safer by going with, the OG squad. So the whole point of V was, I guess you could say, the first instance of V, when the reasons was just it was a test run of. It was basically a test run of doing a rotation format because of Magic. Yeah, basically everything Zeta said. I just realized as I was saying, I'm just saying everything you said, but just I'm fumbling over my words.
I think Magic the Gathering needs to apologize for the damage it's done to the TCG industry.
Gosh. Yep.
I'm like, of all the fucking lessons you could take from that game, I'm not even saying there aren't lessons to take, but
Not
of
the
all of
reprint
them,
sets.
I'm not-
Not the commander format. Not anything else. Rotation.
I mean, this is also coming from the same like country. Like he also lives in, right? I mean, Pokemon wasn't as big as it was, as it is now. But it's like I could see probably like Pokemon does it, Magic does it. It's the biggest here in the West. You know, might be a good idea without understanding the positives and negatives that came with it. I think he was like, well, the positive thing will outweigh the negatives.
right? Like I understand. I can understand that train of thought, but it also has the same energy. See, this works out really well because you and I both follow Gigaboot so often. This is the card game equivalent of PlayStation looking at Genshin Impact and how successful it was and being like, we need to do that. Like, do what? A live service game. Or like, why?
know.
Like, do you understand why that was successful? Or because it was a live service game? Or like, no, sir, that's not, ship it. Shut up. What? No, ship it.
And I mean, to be fair, we are talking about the same Kidani who like frame one instituted the creator of Buddy Fight.
Oh my god, how did I forget about that?
Like he hit him like frame one on release night for his new game.
This is a bad time for me to ask if Gate Ruler's still around.
It is
It is somehow still around.
What the fuck?
They've already announced 3 more sets are in development. They have a new team over in China that's like handling like production, distribution, and everything, and it's somehow thriving.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't get it.
What fucking world do we live in?
I can't make my retrospective until the game dies.
Or you're like me, who was forever in limbo, because I would like to make a Build Divide retrospective, but I'm in forever limbo.
Make one.
No.
Every time Gate Ruler's about to die, some divine intervention comes in.
It's true. I've seen it. Like
man.
Like Kadani hates Kadani hates Gate Ruler like 50 Cent hates Diddy. Like
Yeah.
I meant to say John Rule there, but sorry.
It would be exceptionally funny if Gate Ruler survives the bubble popping.
I mean,
there's a non-zero chance Gate Ruler might luck out and outlive Vanguard.
No.
Non-zero.
At least kill a Bandai game first.
Oh, don't worry, we'll know in March.
And I mean, the most ironic part is that Gate Ruler was almost a Bush Road game.
Dodged bullet?
I think the bullet just keeps bouncing off a wall. Like it's in an endless ricochet. Like who's gonna get hit? Who's gonna get hit?
gonna get it? Who's gonna get it? Oh, it was Buddy Fight
Again?
Oh, wait, the bullet's still going. Hold. Whoa, what's that? Rebirth TCG.
Who?
Nah.
Right.
You know what? Speaking of, let's talk about how many TCGs just. You know what? No, I'll wait for that later. But yeah, what are your thoughts on that whole potential origin of V thing? Besides after the Magic needs to apologize. Because Hasbro needs to apologize for a lot of things, not just how Magic's done everything.
Well, we can save the Transformers cast for later.
Oh.
I was talking about Power Rangers, but okay.
Man,
there are many such evils.
Like we could create the end game team up with all the franchises that have been screwed over by Hasbro.
Gosh, yeah.
God, I struggle. I struggle to think of how else they could have handled V the way they did. Just that initial transition. Because, like, all things considered, once they passed the, well, I won't say once they passed the manga, because then there was the Koshien stuff, and that was a mixed bag in and of itself.
Yeah.
But, like, I liked the Shinamon stuff well enough. That, like, had enough balance between doing its own thing while also, like, filling in stuff for the original in a way that, like, yeah, I could appreciate this. But just that beginning chunk, it's hard because it's like I didn't really think about it that hard back then because I was just focused on, like, establishing a scene at all. It's like trying to make the most of the start of it. I didn't mind it at the very beginning. It was like I didn't have that much investment in G, so I wasn't losing all that much from the transition. Like, I had built Sharharot from, like, GBT 14, but that didn't stop us from just playing those decks as they were in, like, quote-unquote premium.
Yeah. Wow.
Feel like I'm running in circles on this one. It's
No, I get you. So I obviously the problem thing is, by that time we had spent 3 years with a whole new cast. I think a lot of people were pretty intrigued with the idea because like, oh, kind of like like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, right? That was a manga adaptation. It took, it kind of just made things better overall to a lot of people, depending.
Better. Oh.
Okay. Had a decent adaptation, so everybody was kind of like, oh, well, the anime is probably going to be, quote unquote, better than the original. The card game, we still don't know anything about gifts and everything, how that was going to play out. Hindsight is 2020. So, like, there's a lot of ideas that could have gone in. It's just, I think the biggest problem was that V's anime just lost budget.
The Vanguard manga is a very different beast from what, like, people think they got out of season 1 of original Vanguard.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you brought up the card game Sai episode, right? Like the card shop Sai one where, like, Aichi meets Korn.
Yeah.
Like, that's much closer to where the manga was, where it's like, yeah, no, bro, you're just doing Yu-Gi-Oh again, but with psychic powers. Like that's the manga.
I mean,
Yeah,
Like it's like a smaller scale Yu-Gi-Oh story with like psychic powers, and like OG Vanguard fans will tell you, run you up and down, going, no, 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 we're not like that. We're not that crazy magic manga thing. We're like a regular card shop anime, like a sports show. No, you never were. Copium.
right. It's like, and I mean, uh, considering Akira Ito's like most well-known background prior to working on Vanguard, that's not entirely surprising.
Right, Yu-Gi-Oh! Are, yeah.
Hmm.
Which is kind of pretty well paced, just like the Vanguard manga. Just back to back endless fights and like bullshit shenanigans.
Yeah, I almost wonder why the original anime went in the direction that it did. Like, I don't know,
Yeah,
was this literally a case of just like not enough material at the time and they just had
I
ideas to throw around from it?
I think so. I think it's like that one's like diverged development things where like both works exist at the same time and like start at the same time, but like
yeah.
one's a weekly anime and one's a monthly manga, so like the anime will just have to like make a bunch of stuff up.
Oh, see, it didn't register to me that the original manga was monthly. That definitely,
Yeah.
that would definitely contribute to that.
Like, again, ironically, here's the 10 2-minute episodes. What? Hold on. Let me check this up real quick because I know the stream's been having an issue. So, uh, give me just. Let me actually like probably pause the recording here and then try and like restart the stream. So put the recording back on.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, don't tell me I was right.
No, we were recording.
Okay.
Did your PC run out of space?
No, the PCs are run out of space.
What's wrong?
When we disconnected from the stream,
Uh-huh.
it didn't record. It recorded me, but it switched the properties of the window it was recording audio from.
Huh.
So while it was recording your audio from Discord, Zeta,
Yeah.
but it combined both you and ZRG's audio and thus made that old window not exist.
Huh.
So for the
What?
past 3 hours, y'all have just been yapping, and I haven't actually recorded it. And I've been looking to see if that was true or not.
Oh no.
You know what? This is the best way to. What other way to end the podcast? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that's perfect. Stream has a stroke.
This is the last. This is the last episode.
All right, then we gotta end this.
Like the Persona 5 of podcasts?
Man, I can't wait until people forget about Persona 5 in like 3 years.
Yeah.
Dog, I can't wait.
I can't wait to see what genre the canon spin-off will be.
So now,
And we're gonna get a Persona 2 remake. Everyone's gonna be like Persona 5 who, and life will return to normal.
here's the even more scary proposition. This potentially means now, granted, when I heard the original recording, I did hear Zeta recorded, so it's still in the actual first recording, so we still have that first 2 hours.
Sweet.
But now, here we are at the tail end. And do have no idea how for the past 3 hours we descended into madness.
That is how the horrors work.
See, so what this clearly means, if you have to have a part 2 with the exact same people, and next episode's supposed to be the Ultraman episode.
Okay, hold on a second.
Do you have any familiarity with Ultraman?
No.
Oh, next week's gonna be fun. Google some videos, watch whatever one you want. Some pretty nice retrospectives.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna.
I'm sure I'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you to watch an entire show, but don't worry. It's gonna be neat.
I'm like, again, I am the man that inhaled the better part of like 400 hours of visual novels masquerading as JRPGs in 1 month. I can cram. I say this like I'm not probably gonna attempt to do like 8 to 10 hour streams of Daybreak 2 almost every day once I get it in my hands. I'm like, I want to savor that, but I also need it done so that I can play Wilds and not feel bad.
Well, if it makes things any easier, the best Ultraman show is actually just on YouTube for free. Well, one of the best ones.
Oh, damn, really?
Yeah, like they just upload like all the recent shows are just on YouTube on the official YouTube channel.
Which one is this?
Ultraman Z, Zed, whatever you want to call it. Depends on how Canadian you are.
Oh, no. God, I wish. Oh, there we are. Oh, Jesus, I opened one YouTube video and my computer decides, alright, it's stroke time.
Oh no.
Alright, there we go. Oh my god, there's already vintage fight shit on my suggesteds.
Yeah, yeah.
They work fast.
It's a rabbit hole. A rabbit hole that started in the 60s.
Okay. Apologies for leaving. Had to
No problem.
check on something. Okay, let's. I think I know what got. I think I know what the podcast title is.
Yeah.
Yep. sold. No. Yeah. Basically, I think the podcast style is gonna be something like use 3 hours of the podcast to buy Bushy Road or something. I don't know. Bought Bushy Road for 3 hours, maybe.
Right.
Bushiroad stocks at an all-time low, parentheses, affectionate.
Gosh. But yeah, the second I get some in my inheritance money, and I'm crashing the shareholder meetings. I'm putting them towards a good cause. I'm gonna use some money to save. I'm gonna use my money to save a card game.
All right.
Literally
I'm just gonna
just
ask
the
them
one mother.
what is their strategy for the Western market. Every meeting.
Just the
Until I
one
get a good answer.
motherfucker in Nintendo briefings. Where is F-Zero?
I gotta be that one guy.
All right. Here we go. One more. Here we go. Last topic.
All right.
And here we go. We talk about the Bushiroad's goal to be the #1 TCG company.
Oh, this fun one.
It certainly is a goal they have stated in a public setting for some reason.
Right.
They really said, yeah, we're planning to be the #1 TCG company. None of your games are top 5 except Weiss, which is being divided into pieces.
And like,
As
it's
you
kind of
speak.
hard to be #1 when Pokemon just released crack cocaine into the mobile gaming market. Like,
Yeah, it's a little horrifying, especially considering within like God, I have to assume it hasn't been 24 hours, maybe 48 of them adding in their like trading function and being like, "Oh, yeah, sorry, we might have screwed the pooch on this to combat botting.
right.
We'll get back to you on some of this later."
And they're probably gonna fix that pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're like less than a week out from that new set releasing where like people are just fighting each other in the streets for an Eevee.
Oh. Yeah,
Like,
it hadn't even really registered to me how big a deal that set was to people. I remember
uh-huh.
I think because I had seen a post from my LGS about it where they're like, "Hey, so like if y'all are here to buy these because you're actually playing the game, we will sell the ETBs to you for less if you are okay with us preemptively taking off the shrink wrap."
Right.
I
Like
was like,
I saw things
Jesus,
from
is it that
other stores
serious?
where like you can only purchase the set if they break the seal in the store.
Mm-hmm. I'm like, look, I understood that there were like Walmart fights and shit over the years, over the COVID days, but like,
Now it's like,
wow.
right. Like, how do you compete with that, right? Like, how do you get a card game that's not Pokemon that cause people to start? That's so desirable. People are literally fighting each other for cards. Because that's what #1 is now. #1 is street violence on release day. The new bar has been set.
And ain't no one beating each other's asses over Sephiroth.
Right. Which is, you know, the craziest part about it? They only ever did the limited quantity, like special rarity thing once.
Oh my god.
Like, I'm surprised they haven't brought that back.
It's probably a bad time to ask this. Was this before or after the One Ring?
Probably. For when Bushro did it?
I don't know how you do it. It actually.
The host.
Yeah, we've got him.
I might finally.
Multimedia project still going.
We need to do that. Like, do what?
Yeah.
I was about to say it might be the only way our country has gun control.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's pretty apt, yeah. Oh, a limited one-on-one Pikachu card would in fact. I'll only get country control passed. Shoot, now we gotta do it. You know, just like banning on the hatches and like, you know, don't go near a store.
That shouldn't be too hard.
Right, like, you know, after like a week of social unrest, we should be good. Just a minor societal collapse.
Never hurt anyone too much.
Right? Just minor damage.
Can't create without destroying, and boy, are we good at destroying.
Exactly.
Where did this tangent spin off from?
Number one.
It may not even actually. Oh, right. Oh my god.
And now the standard for number one has become street violence.
Right. All right. It looped back around. My brain connected the dots. I was just along for the ride.
No. Like, how can he do it? Like, it's impossible.
I mean, at this point, yeah, I really can't fathom a world where they like even come close. I mean, they literally have to change the definition of what number one card game company in the world is to meet their exact criteria.
Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they can aim for number two, but then they're getting jumped by like Duel Masters and Yu-Gi-Oh! And their eternal conflicts for the past like 20 years. Which, you know, good luck.
Right. It's like, how do you. Well, especially now, where like. Look, I don't know how big Rush Duel is in Japan, but there is a very serious case to be made that like Western Yu-Gi-Oh and Eastern Yu-Gi-Oh are just fundamentally different scenes, so it's like different worlds at that point.
And Bushro doesn't even know how to handle a card game in multiple regions, and how
Right.
they have
Oh god.
function differently.
I almost can't believe we're going back to the days of you buy a manga, you get a single copy of a promo. Good luck.
Right.
I'm like, what fucking year is it?
The year 2025, where we come number one, baby! Woo!
The year is 2010. You're in your school library. You're picking up a copy of Weekly Shonen Jump that just so happened to sneak through the system. You open the magazine and you pull out a copy of Max C. You are now entering the Twilight Zone.
This is fucked up because that was literally the tail end of my like middle school. No, was that high school? No, that was at sure. No, that was middle school. Oh god, I'm mixing up the layouts of the buildings.
I mean,
It was literally the tail end of middle school because I had the last physical volume of Shonen Jump that they had number 30 Acid Golem of Destruction in,
dang.
and
All
I was reading the tail end of the Fullbringer arc.
God, I sent someone time traveling.
It was literally the tail end of the fight between Ichigo and Ginjo.
There's just
You know,
no way.
we're bookending things. We mentioned the Fullbringer arc at the start of the podcast.
We did it!
We completed the loop. Yeah. Like number one.
Like, can they count that high?
Right?
Like, do they understand what that means to like normal people whose brains have not been rotted by exorbitant amounts of money? I'm not convinced.
You know what the dumbest thing is? They had the easiest route to it, right? Not like it's not guaranteed success, but like an easy route to it. Those $4 D starter decks.
Yeah.
Like I
If they
said,
just lost leader that shit and put it in big box stores,
Oh.
we would not be having this conversation right now. If you could just go into Walmart, belittle Timmy with $5 and walk out with a Cardfight Vanguard deck.
Even like, fuck. And I know this isn't gonna happen because God forbid that they end up in a place where normal people can see them. Imagine a world where you put the Skyride manga in big box retailers, and to the immediate right of it, not even the Stardust Blade deck, you put the 2 JP Skyride decks that have yet to release
Mm-hmm.
right next to it on the shelf.
Wow, you can fight each other right now, just like in the manga you just read.
Yeah. There's
let
only
me.
one promo though. Y'all gotta wage war for that shit.
Right.
But do your decks use it, so you're good, right?
Like,
Uh, but let me
there's
talk
so
about
many things they could have done.
let me talk about the whole thing that kind of got me upset a little bit. I'm just like, when I saw that 50 cards that said like it is considered a like a set release, I'm like, I took a step back. I'm like, how is a goddamn manga a set release? There's only one
No.
card in it.
How many copies of the manga are they getting?
Well, he's doing pre-orders for like $11, but it's like, it's still like, what do you mean?
So, like,
Like,
are they expecting card shops to just order a
yes,
fat stack of manga?
they're expecting card shops to hold the Skyride manga like a set.
Oh God.
This is the most unserious company I have dealt with. Like somehow they get worse. How do they keep getting worse?
Nightmare.
I will take Upper Deck's run of Yu-Gi-Oh over the madness that is Bushiroad right now. I've said it. I've said it. Bring back Upper Deck for Vanguard.
Can I have Blood Mephist?
Yes.
Hell yeah, brother, let's do it.
Feels like I saw that and I'm just like, now great, does that mean that it won't be in shops? I haven't checked out Barnes and Noble.
I doubt it's gonna be in shops in like any significant quantity.
But I'm just like, you know what? Let me double check. Let me see.
They'll get maybe like 3 to 4 copies in like that bin they have in the middle full of like the other new releases.
Let's see. Let's start doing double check. Let's see. Cardfight. They have the old manga in stock. You still order the old manga, including yeah, 9, 8, 9, 11, 12. Oh God, I got jump scared by a book.
What book did you get jump scared by?
I think you know exactly what book it is.
No.
It is a book on how to win cardfight tournaments.
The classic. The seminal
That's a
classic.
thing? Huh?
Yep.
Oh no.
But anyway, no.
Oh yes.
Anyway, no pre-orders on Barnes & Noble just yet on Vanguard. There are pre-orders for Cobalt Dragoon.
Yeah.
That is a thing.
Well, you know, people know what Beyblade is in the US.
I'd really like to be able to see any UX anything in my local store. Hasbro, please.
Dude, I'd order my Beyblade stuff from GameStop.
Damn.
I mean, they you know what's funny? There's a decent amount of Beyblade stuff at like a local HEB. Like right by my job. I could just go into the store, grab some drinks, and buy some Beyblade. I don't know why, but neat.
To say that you can.
Right. Hey guys, my supermarket has legit Beyblades. But yeah, ordering manga like a card game set. It's like, what are you doing? Do you not want people to like get in the Vanguard?
I just don't know.
Do you guys see any like commercials for like Vanguard stuff outside of like the episodes
No.
of Cardfight Vanguard?
Absolutely not.
Like, how are you only advertising to yourself?
Like, two for those are from usually I don't really have a way to kind of see. I have like I have premium, so I don't have to deal with ads. But it's still like I miss the days where you had uh like actual commercials on TV. Now it's like okay. I just completely.
Also, the commercials on the YouTube channel lack the sauce. Like, look at this trailer for a card game,
I miss
and like,
the
you're just gonna wonder, like, if you didn't know there was a card game, you'd be wondering what the hell is this for? Like, if you see this on TV, you're gonna be at least a little intrigued.
Yeah. No, I was like, I was waiting for the cards.
No, it's just really ominous standing, and an Ultraman card game at the end. It's like, what are they doing?
Like, I'm taken aback, but you have my attention. Now keep it.
Right? Exactly.
I feel like the most I've seen Bushiro do for something like that, it's not even like, well, first off, it's not for Vanguard, because of fucking course it isn't.
Right.
And I guess I have to wonder how much of it is like a Bushiro thing as much as it is like a Games thing. And just by saying that, you can probably infer where I'm going with this.
Side games.
Eh,
Well, there
are
was one
either of
thing
you
Bushiro
familiar
did.
with the channel Covert Go Blue?
Yeah.
yes.
They had not one, but two sponsored Shadowverse Evolve videos. They had one
Yeah.
that was 1v1, and they had a full, like, Glory Finder, their EDH equivalent.
Right.
And I'm like, how the
There we
fuck did
go.
this happen? I'm like,
It's
I'm
not
not
Bushiro paying people to
displeased.
shield their games.
Well, see, the difference is side games is money. Bushiroad International, or whoever it is that runs Cardfight Vanguard at this point in the global space,
Look.
has $3 and a pack of Tic Tacs.
All right, let's be fair to Bushro, all right? They blew their entire advertising budget in perpetuity on Mila Malkovich that one time.
That was 6 years ago.
That
Exactly.
they blew their entire marketing budget for the next 10 years. It all went to Mila Malkovich.
I mean, Mila Jovovich.
Shoot, I'm thinking the Resident Evil one, right? No.
I get what you're talking about. You're talking about it's
Yeah,
Jovovich, not Malkovich. I think you're getting her confused with John Malkovich.
probably. That makes sense. Jovovich. Cool.
I had a thought, and I don't know what the hell I did with it.
I don't know.
Shit.
And like speaking of advertising and like for gay content creators, Beyblade's about to have Kai Cenat do the craziest amount of free advertising for them ever.
Oh my god, that's right.
Like, dude's about to kickstart the second age of Beyblade in the West, and we're just sitting here like, shrug. Hasbro's about to be funded for like ages now.
Like it's just crazy because
Oh god, it just hit me. There we go. I was wondering where it went, and I found it somehow. I don't mean to drag this somehow back into 3 more years of Dear Days 2 discourse.
Hell yeah.
I was about to say 3 houses. That's how tired I'm getting.
yes.
uh there was some small part of me that hoped beyond hope that the part of the purpose behind Shadowverse Evolve existing was that Games doesn't necessarily have the means of production for a physical card game. So they're like, okay, we
And
partner
we're
with you so that you can print our physical card game. And that's what we get out of this.
Yep.
And the alternative,
Uh-huh.
my vain hope would have been, all right, you motherfuckers need to start training people. If you can't find people in game development that are willing,
Mm-hmm.
like already established in the industry, to form a proper in-house studio for developing shit. Because between Furyu and Landcars, it is very clear that Bushiroad Games is not a fucking developer, they are a publisher.
Oh yeah.
Right.
That
Without a
people
doubt.
assume is a developer because they have games in their title.
But you see, here's the problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bushiroad, they didn't read the art of the deal. They would have known this is a terrible trade deal. They would have gotten a digital sim for half the cost. They'd have asked, they could have made side games work on the sim before Shadowverse Evolve, but they are terrible negotiators.
What the fuck was that accent? You
A
have
2 a.m. a 2 a.m. failed Trump accent.
I was just saying,
you have never done that before. And that took me so off guard. I'm like, what the
yeah, I attempted to translate in my head, but the moment we hit horrible negotiators, I'm like, okay, all right, well, I can fill in the rest of the gaps. I just like, surely some half of the deal would have been, if you don't have enough people to work on Worlds Beyond and a thing for us, at least help us train people.
Right?
So that they know have an idea of what they're doing. And maybe they can still look into like a support studio like Landcars to help with development. Like that's
Right,
what
like
they're there
something.
for.
But
But it
no, they
really
got
just
nothing out of this deal.
it just feels like a completely one-sided thing of like, yeah, Games has a physical equivalent of their card game.
And it plays
And
better than Vanguard. It will surpass Vanguard in popularity in like 3 years' time. Side games, they say winning. Bushiroad, they're losers. Pathetic.
I mean, it kind of says something where this should be where they probably like say, hey, in the West, we're gonna start making the play for the Vanguard Shadowverse Evolve collab. But the Vanguard collab damn near broke the game.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know what I was shocked that they didn't announce it, but I'm also like, how the hell do you release that set?
Right.
Do you just like, cuz you can't not
don't.
release it. Like I feel like it is the closest thing to like a stimulus check you can give that fucking game's like cognizance in the minds of people.
Gosh. Like, imagine being Bustroad and your best chance to get Vanguard a bit of a popularity boost is putting Vanguard in one of your side games that you're publishing for someone else.
Yeah.
Like, I I can't name a more cucked franchise. Like, Weiss is just benefiting off the IPs of other people.
Yeah.
Bushiroad is nothing on its own.
That's I've been saying this shit for years.
God. Like, Vanguard is washed.
Not washed.
It's washed. Why does it still smell like shit?
Man,
Can't even wipe their ass right.
no. Vanguard got banned from me from the nearest YCS for being too smelly. God. Like, they need to get rid of Kidani.
Yeah. Just
I'll bring up at the next shareholders meeting.
ship him out on his favorite tier dragon, and
Right.
everything will be fine.
We'll print a new, I don't know, Maelstrom card and that'll be it.
You know what? That's a good question. So, encounters. That's a good way to kind of warm up to the ending. What do you
Encounter this middle finger. Sorry.
Yeah. So, how do you? I think this kind of question also is there. How do you feel they handled the original announcement of encounters, or encounters in general, in D?
Ooh. They either should have waited a longer or announced them at the start. Like, if they said, hey, like if say year 2
Wait a
open,
second.
right? Hmm?
Never mind. Keep going.
Like if they announced it like year 2, they were like, all right, here's encounter, here's these like, all right guys, you guys had a great year of D, and then presenting Blasto Blade and Dragonic Overlord. You know, after a fresh year of D standing on its own, right? Or did say like at the start, day one, frame one of announcing D, they're like, hey, these things are gonna be showing up later. We're gonna drip feed them like a little bit, you know. But we're not gonna have them overwhelm the game, right? Either of those would have been fine. I think them showing encounters when they did is what soured a lot of people to the idea. Because they immediately got VPTSD. And they were already like trying to like just throwing the format away. Or that
Yeah.
anti nostalgia subset.
Yeah, I feel like I mean, I don't like either of the alternatives, but if I had to pick one, I would probably say that they should have just been upfront about them, rip off the band-aid, because you wait an entire year of just radio silence on anything like that, and then you give me hope that they're gone. Which is like sort of the same problem that they had the way they revealed them, but like waiting an entire year would have exacerbated that problem so much more.
Yeah.
Also, maybe Encounter shouldn't have been like the big stars, right?
Yeah, I when your second set is literally titled A Brush with the Legends and like you make such a big deal about wow, look at all of these old historic units back. I'm like, we just started. Do you have this little faith?
Like, if they did some like weirder ones, right? Like, not even Blaster Blade or Draconic Overlord, but like shock ones, right? Like, say, Aleph, Mr. Invincible.
Yeah. Yeah, see,
Like,
like,
things you
I think
feel
stuff like that could have worked.
like stuff that felt missing from V and like wasn't super overrepresented. That would have been kind of neat.
They say, fuck it. We're printing that one grade 3, or at least I think it was a grade 3, Oracle Guardian that was only ever in the anime.
Hermes, yeah.
Yeah. They're like, we're making him real.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, I think I could have gotten behind stuff like that. Even if it was just like, I almost wonder if I wouldn't have minded it as much if they had started out with just like supporting rearguard pieces like they're doing for like Divine Set 6.
Yeah.
Where they're like, here's Bellicosity, here's Doreen the Thruster, here's Cutlass, which you can only play in Maelstrom for some reason. Shut up, don't worry about it.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because that way
Like
it's not
less
really them
planning.
hinging on their like front runner, like big faces.
Right.
Yeah, I think the other thing and part of the reason why I imagine if they had the chance to redo how or when they introduce them is like them announcing encounters, especially when they did, it gives the vibe of like, here's our first collab with Cardfight Vanguard Divines. It's Cardfight Vanguard.
No, no, no.
Like it is genuinely just a case of we need old ass 2011 Vanguard to collab with new Vanguard so that we get old people back that haven't been burned by V, or people that have been burned by V, but like, I don't know, they want to be hit?
I mean, that's kind of Vanguard players right now in general. But I mean, even Magic the Gathering's about to hit a point with Universes Beyond where it's presenting our new plane coming to Magic the Gathering. Magic the Gathering.
Oh, they.
So you know this will be a case where there will be several lightnings, and you will have to be able to tell the difference in cup size from the art.
Oh no.
See, I'm looping all this shit back together. Nothing's escaping. As long as I haven't forgotten it. If I've forgotten it, then like we're fucked, but
Look, as long as I can just run Moogle, Tribal, and Commander, I'm good. football?
I vaguely remember seeing those things in 7 Rebirth. What the fuck did they do to them? Is this the... Am I misremembering which one they turned them into horrific death creatures?
I haven't played the 7 remakes.
I'm gonna regret looking this up.
For what?
Rebirth Moogles.
Oh no.
No.
Wait.
Oh yeah. No. Oh my lord. Oh, that's right. I remember this because of
Oh no, what?
Gigaboot's fucking Game of the Year award shit. Alright, well. It is within my... Oh fuck, do I have to save this? Yes, I do. Okay. You bastards would make it a WebP. Thought I stopped having to deal with this shit with the Vanguard wiki. Okay, there we go. Thank God, don't let me down.
Oh gosh. What the heck is that on the right?
That is the 7 Rebirth.
Oh yeah.
Oh
That's
god.
what you meant.
I have been subjected to the horrors, and now so have you.
Yeah, they're in the game.
Oh no. How do you ruin a Moogle?
I don't know.
Also,
But, like,
they have
it's
this,
right there.
Also, for some reason, they have this really weirdly like almost like borderline horny like feel to how they just act sometimes. Like,
Coupeau.
Please don't functionally call Moogles ugly bastards.
Coupeau.
Oh, fucking
Have to make
end
faceless
me.
Coupeau edits. Gosh. Man, people are gonna be so mad about Final Fantasy and Magic.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
And then they're gonna be mad about the Marvel set.
Oh.
And then they're gonna start rioting once we get reveals for the dedicated Spider-Man booster.
Yeah, don't
Like,
they have
geez.
another IP that they've been, like, withholding the identity of?
Right. It's actually Spider-Verse. You get Marvel, then Spider-Man, then Spider-Verse.
I was trying to think, I'm like, where do you go after Lord of the Rings?
Well,
Like,
they
where
went
the
to Warhammer.
It's like, I know they've done Warhammer, they've done Fallout,
Doctor Who.
Doctor Who.
Assassin's Creed, everyone forgot about.
Oh, fuck, that's right.
Right? Like I think everyone just went, huh?
I have this brain disease where anything attached to Ubisoft's name just funnels into a black hole in the back of my mind.
I mean,
Don't worry, they won't be around. They won't be around after June.
meanwhile, that Assassin's Creed set was nothing because I'm like, they only have the only Assassin's Creed game I played in it. I'm like, really?
No Black Flag?
No. They didn't have anything from 3 in there.
The heck? Oh, that's weird.
Like, I literally looked for Connor, I looked for anything related to 3, and it's like, nope. Just
Like, you'd
disappeared.
expect at least a few cards for each
Which
mainline
the
game.
only way I can see that is because they were talking about people talking about like how they kind of like are starting to kind of like clean up the stuff that would be kind of controversial. So, take out the arc about the assassin the assassin Native American. That'd probably be a thing to just kind of steer clear of.
Yeah.
I get it, but it's kind of just crazy to be to be the fan of the game that people don't like.
Right. That's rough.
Yeah. Okay. So I think that is pretty much all we have to talk about for right now. It's gone so late. It's a new day, so probably should kind of wrap this up. Thank you so much for coming on the show, man. Even though,
Yeah.
It's been a fucking blast.
yeah, maybe
You're invited. You're invited to next week's episode.
no,
What do you mean no?
not no. It's like, oh, he's not invited. Just like next week's episode is like, do you know what next week's episode is?
Y'all mentioned it was the Ultraman one.
Yeah.
Yes.
I invited him to the Ultraman episode.
Okay, well, it's your episode, so you get fair reign to say it. Ask it.
Woo!
Hopefully.
The structure's gonna be simple, right? Like, write down some questions and whatnot, and I'll do my best to answer them in a completely normal way, and we'll just branch off from there.
Right? Well, all right. So, where can they find you? As we
You can find me at ZRG on YouTube. You can find me at, this is where it gets fun, because of course they're all different. Oh my god, I'm in hell is nothing loading. I will trust that it's actually ZRGaming on Blue Sky. And it is ZRVgaming on Twitch.
Okay.
And I think that's everything. And if it isn't, oh well. I cannot be bothered.
And you can find me on the usual channels, ZetaZephyr, VT, pretty much everywhere. Twitter, YouTube, Blue Sky.
Yep.
And eventually in the shareholder meeting information.
Yep. And then you can find me at on Twitter at RedFangZechs for how much longer I don't know. You can find me on Blue Sky at ZechsWing. YouTube channel is, of course, the Zechs TCG. Also, channel Zechs. You can find the podcast on YouTube, as I pressed the wrong button to find details, but you can find it at the Out of Pocket podcast, TCG podcast. It's all in the description. Once again, thanks for our guest coming on.
Yeah.
And we will see you next time, everybody. Peace.
Peace.